Yeah. Place to be. Things behind the sun. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. First time I heard this album, I'll never forget hearing this, and I was absolutely unexpected of just the beauty of this guy, Nick Drake. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't know, you know what I mean, how his style's going to be, you know what I mean? And this was the first album I've ever heard of Nick Drake until I had to listen to the other albums, of course. But I think I'm starting to realize, because I realized this was probably going to be my favorite of his until I heard, you know, Brighter Later. And then I realized, I don't know if I like Brighter Later or do I like Pink Moon? And that was always a challenge to me. I don't know if I like Brighter or Pink Moon. I just always, but I don't know. I still kind of, I still have that feeling that I know that I think Brighter Later might be my top favorite album from his, either that or Pink Moon. And I always thought Pink Moon was just one of those great masterpieces. You know what I mean? I just love the presentation, you know, that baritone voice, you know, that he kind of, you know, delicately presents here, you know. And this is an album that I just so much of a high, greater altitude of this guy. You know what I mean? I just knew somewhere that this is definitely going to be one of those albums that people are going to remember for decades. You know what I mean? The album was released February of '72, so this was like pretty much a year after his Brighter Later album, which was March of the previous year. And this is basically just him. And it's amazing how each of the albums basically have so much of a different presentation, so much of a different, the way it's recorded, the way, you know, the instruments are placed on the album, you know what I mean? And that's how I feel about the three of his albums, you know what I mean? You can definitely tell how much of a you know, just the diversity of the players that are on each of the albums or whatever. And it's crazy, you know. You don't get, I mean, it's just, it amazes me how his third album is just basically like a punch to the gut, almost like a, you know, almost like a damn. This is not what I remember from the other album. Yeah. You know, you don't get all that luscious, you know, whatever, the orchestration and the strings and stuff. You don't get any string arrangements involved here. You don't get any kind of electric pianos here. You don't get that cool double bass that was prominent from the first two albums, Five Leaves Left and, you know, 71, The Brighter Later. But I absolutely just love this production here. And it's incredible how it's just Nick Drake solo. Nobody else is involved here, but just Nick Drake solo here. You know what I mean? I just love his acoustic playing. I love his piano playing. Just from the first track alone, Pink Moon. It's so incredible. I just love his presentations throughout every single one of these songs. And you know, he reminds me a little bit of Duffy for sure. Now I don't want to be wrong here or be kind of, you know, a little bit you know, unbelievable here. Anything, anything, what I mean, believable or whatever, take it for what I am here. But definitely like Bob Dylan, you know what I mean? Like if you take a look at his first couple of albums, at least, the first three or whatever, it's just mostly solo Dylan, mostly Dylan doing pretty much all the basically the one-man band, So that's how I feel about Nick Drake, to put it mildly or whatever. That he pretty much performs every instrument on the album. It's mostly acoustics and piano. And it's incredible how, and I just love just that wonderful, painting that he almost seems to have on a canvas, as you hear these lyrics and as you see these, the album titles, like for instance, at least three of these songs almost have a different tonality a little bit, has a little bit of a different theme, you know what I mean? Like Pink Moon is just so straight. Place to Be is just such a different feel. Then you get into Road, and that has a little bit of a different, has a bit of a, of its own, I Love Which Will, which is an excellent song. But let me just go ahead and read the lyrics to Pink Moon, because let me read it all here, because it's just brilliant, beautiful. I saw it written and I saw it say, Pink Moon is on its way. And none of you stand so tall, Pink Moon gonna get you all. What a great line. And it's a pink moon, pink moon, pink moon. And I saw it written and I saw it say, Pink Moon is on its way. Yes, a pink moon. What a great ending line, ending verse. Yes, a pink moon. Let me read I think Which Will is absolutely just, oh my God. With the doom, dan, 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 bim, bum, bum, bum. I love the way he has a bit of a staccato, maybe a little bit, a little bit of, and I just love the way he plays. It's very, he has that arpeggio sound on his acoustic guitar, and it's very staccato a little bit too, you know what I mean? Which will you go for? Which will you love? Which will you choose from the stars above? I love that line. Which will you call? Which will you take for? For your one and all. And tell me now, which will you love the best? Which do you dance for? Which makes you shine? Which will you choose now? It won't choose mine. Which will you hope for? Which can it be? Which will you take now? If you won't take me and tell me now, which will you love the best? Just another perfectious, excellent line right there. Great song. A little bit falling out of a relationship, regret maybe. There's a little bit perhaps on the album. A little bit of maybe going forward, looking forward, that kind of, I definitely see it for sure. Another favorite of mine for sure on here is Harvest Breed. And it's such an excellent, maybe even Joni Mitchell sounding song, something maybe you can know, or maybe from her earlier albums or a little bit going further to maybe like stuff from like Cloud or something, or, maybe even Court and Spark or something. And it's just, 6 verses really within the song. Falling fast and falling free, you look to find a friend. Falling fast and falling free, this could just be the end. Falling fast, you stoop to touch and kiss the flowers that bend. And now you're ready now for the harvest breed. What can be said? That is just poetry right there. Just excellent. I do also love Free Ride. That's another, not to be confused with, of course, Edgar Winter Free Ride. And then this beautiful last song, which ends the album. And it kind of has a bit of that, a little bit of that motion. You can feel, you can kind of, you know what I mean? Have that motion of what Nick Drake is presenting here. A day once dawned, and it was beautiful. A day once dawned from the ground. Then the night she fell, and the air was beautiful. The night she fell all around. So it's maybe perhaps, maybe perhaps passionately falling in love with someone. So look, see the days, the endless colored ways, and go play the game that you learnt from the morning. And now we rise, and now we rise, and we are everywhere. And now we rise from the ground, and see she flies. That's a beautiful line. And she is everywhere, and she flies all around. So look, see the size of the endless summer nights, and go play the game that you learned from the morning. There's old Nick Drake there, sitting there on that chair, on that bench or whatever. You know what? Not a lot to say, but I do believe that this is absolutely one of those master poetical poetry right in front of your eyes. And I feel like, we know Bob Dylan, of course, is absolutely the crowning, if you will, of the poeticism. But you know what? I feel like Nick Drake is right there too. Not quite, but he just seems there, you know what I mean? And you can say that for James Taylor and just those early incredible geniuses of that singer-songwriter period, you know what I mean? I feel like Nick Drake is right there, maybe not even the middle, but maybe even beyond. I do believe. But hey, folks, let me know. Of course, I enjoy every single track. It's absolutely one of those great. But I don't know if I'm tackled with Brighter Later or this album, but you know darn well that this is just a marvelous album. And I feel like it's just absolutely perfectious, no matter what, every time I listen to it, But anyways, I enjoy doing these commentary videos on Nick Drake, and I'm ending it here. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.